welcome. I'm Alex DeRoussel. I'm joined here by Mark Troy. Mark, how you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic.
So we're gonna recap the band's season. If the band season and Mark being a senior, drum major, and his kind of journey throughout high school. But first, we're gonna get to know you personally a little bit better, Mark. So, what is your favorite meal, like, ever?
My favorite meal ever. Jeez. Oh man. Can you give me like a category to nail it down, like a meal of the day?
Sure. Favorite breakfast food?
Okay. Waffles.
Waffles. And do you like regular waffle topping, like?
It depends on the day, but
Uh-huh.
usually I'll go for something like a Belgian waffle
Yeah.
with like maybe a little whipped cream if we had of it, obviously maple syrup,
Mm-hmm.
some peanut butter, and then fruit, I guess, probably also. So
Like strawberries, blueberry, anything, or is it
yes.
like okay, interesting. See, I like pancakes
Okay.
myself, but I like the peanut butter. That adds extra flavor, I guess, or
Hmm.
density, if you will, to that. And then, what is your dream job?
My dream job, actually, I want to go into music education. So
Okay.
I'm just super excited to try and
Mhm.
do that. So hopefully I'd be able to work at some big high school like this.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah. Well, you definitely have the experience. As we get into the episode, we'll see or hear your kind of story. So you started playing instruments in sixth grade,
Hmm.
and that kind of you started out with trombone,
Mhm.
and you kind of held that all the way through high school,
Hmm.
where obviously in ninth grade you started marching band. So can you talk to me a little bit about how, band or playing music how you got into it first of all, and how that's become such a integral part of your life?
Well, first starting getting into music in sixth grade, it's well, back then it was a very like simple thing. You show up, you are given an instrument almost after you get to try out most of them and see which ones you like,
Mm-hmm.
and then you just kind of get to experiment with it, get to play it some, and just really be around your friends. And for me, all the way back then, it was just so exciting to like put together something that sounded cool and exciting,
Mm-hmm.
and just be around my friends the whole time. And then as I got older and I was able to play with some better ensembles and everything, it just got like that to an even bigger extent, and it was just even more exciting and so on. And then that just kept on leading me to high school marching band.
Yeah. So this is gonna sound maybe like a little dumbed down question, but was it a challenge when you first started marching? Like, you actually have to like memorize like the movements and like the stuff and play the instrument. Was that like a challenge, or did it kind of just come naturally?
So learning how to like memorize all your spots on the field and like the choreography that you have to do, like dancing and everything, that is not hard because of the amount of time that you're there.
Yeah.
Same with memorizing the music, as long as you're not always staring at your music, which usually you're not because it's on a binder on the ground. It those separately come pretty easily, but especially when you're beginning, doing both of those together is extremely difficult.
I can only imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah. And every year you guys have like a new kind of theme, I guess, to the band. So you have to learn a new set of
Mhm.
or of music and movements every year.
Mhm.
But you guys don't differ from competition to competition.
Yes. Yes. So every year within the same year, we always do the same thing. We just keep on working on adding on, usually just a little bit until we hit somewhere around like an 8 to 9 minute mark,
Mhm.
and then we usually stop and we just clean or make it as good and neat and organized as possible. And then as soon as that ends after finals in November, then that's all completely scrapped and something starts again next year.
Yeah. So for, sports fans we see you guys out there on, the field for marching band, is that the same performance you guys just practice all the way through? And are those like trial runs for the big, finals?
I don't know if I would say trial runs, but yes.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty much every time that we're out there, we're going and just making sure everyone is getting getting comfortable and knowing everything that they're doing, and then once they are comfortable and they know we're doing and we're doing it well, then we take whatever we are doing and we make it harder. So there's like almost every single hit that we had in the show, for example, that's pretty much just a really big, intense music moment when we all are in some giant form or whatever. We just started to add in choreography or doing something else extra to make it more exciting, more entertaining to watch, and harder to perform because we could.
Yeah.
So we did.
Yeah. So, obviously Grand Nationals was this past weekend, and you guys performed, very well. Considering how many high school bands there are in the nation, and you guys were 11th overall.
Yeah.
And that's impressive in and of itself.
Thank you.
But to, go in and year out, last year was a little bit of an anomaly. But you guys still ended up going to Lucas Oil. Can you talk to me a little bit about what the experience has been like, as from, freshman to senior year, how each year, you've grown closer to, your fellow band members, I guess, and just talk a little bit about that experience and what it's meant to you.
Well, each year the entire group is different, since there's always a group of seniors that are graduating and there's always freshmen that are coming in. So freshman year, personally, it was just all over the place because I barely knew anyone. I didn't have any older siblings that went through the marching band or anything. I just only had my freshman friends that I already knew, and then a few people from Boy Scouts. And then by sophomore year, I'd started to get to meet more people. And junior year, it just keeps going. And by junior and senior year, it starts to take a very quick switch from getting to meet people and getting to learn from them to being you're now the person that everyone is learning from. And it's a bit of a shock once you realize that, and that's what's going on. But that's even more exciting because it's your opportunity to raise the bar and make everyone better. So I mean, just between the senior class, it's always been fantastic. I think we as a group get along more than probably most other classes in the band have.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic. I love them all. They're amazing, and getting to spend 4 years with them has been spectacular.
And you just talked a little bit about leadership. Obviously, as a drum major, you're one of the leaders. Do you ever feel the pressure, I guess? Is that not really something that's on your mind when you're performing at such a big stage like Grand Nationals?
When I'm performing, no, because when we perform, it's just the same thing as practice. Especially the 2 weeks before Grand Nationals, every single day we would close rehearsal with a full run of the show, which is exactly what we would do at the performance. So as long as I was engaged and I was doing exactly what I was planning on doing during the show, then the show would be perfectly fine, and it felt fine. But there is always plenty of pressure during rehearsal to make sure that everyone is actually focused and everyone's actually doing their best, so that those shows will be easy.
Yeah. Well, obviously the season ended for you guys, and so as a senior, you're kind of moving on, and like you mentioned earlier, your dream job is being kind of getting into musical education at a high school, at the high school level. So where do you go from here? Do you have any specific colleges in mind, or would you want to stay in the area, kind of branch out?
Right now, I'm hoping to go to Indiana University. They have the Jacobs School of Music, which is probably the largest school of music in the U.S. and very well known for music education and so on. And that would just be fantastic. And also, it's a little far, so it's some excitement being away from home and everything. But yeah, from there, I have no idea what's supposed to happen after college, but
yeah,
plenty of time.
Yeah.
So
yeah, like you said, plenty of time, and I don't think anyone really has has it all planned out, and if they do, it the likelihood of it going to that plan is very slim. But wherever you go, we wish you the best. And,
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. And if you'll be sure to tune in next week, we've got a episode with a MHS basketball player coming up on their upcoming season. So be sure to listen to that. And thanks, Mark.
Great. Thank you.